Welcome back, and I will hope you will forgive me for what will be a fairly short video tonight, only because these decks don't need a lot of analyzation. First off, to explain what these are fake tarot decks. Yes, they say tarot card on the box, but they are distributed by a Halloween company that sells costumes. These are props for costumes. Now, you might think that maybe the pink one would be different from the blue one in some manner of fashion. No, it's good old advertising. It is the exact same deck once you pull it out of the box. One just got a pink box, and one just got a blue box. And even the blue box has got some, I don't know, suns and hands and crystal looking things on it. And this is some sort of generic pink swirls. The back of the boxes are slightly different. There's more of a box sort of lettering on this one, and this is more the esoteric sort of lettering. So this is novelty cards, but since they're tarot cards and they're really, really weird outside of being fake tarot cards, let's review them for a second. So the first thing that differentiates this tarot set from an actual tarot set is there is no little white book. There's no explanation in any way, shape, or form of what these cards mean. There's a box and a deck. That's it. To compare this to something, I'm going to have the Rider-Waite close by so that you can see where they did their best to mimic an actual tarot deck. So, what I mean by these are the exact same deck is these are the exact same deck. This is the King of Pentacles. There's nothing different between these two cards. And it goes that way through the entire deck. So now that we have that established, that the pink box is no different from the blue box, let's put the pink box aside, because obviously it was just used to aim at girls in the way that advertising and so on and stuff do. I was hoping for something slightly different, but no, that would cost too much money. Just a pink box. So somebody who created this and designed this knew something about a tarot deck. You've got all the cards you would normally find in a Rider-Waite deck. You've got the Fool card. Even has a little bit of similarity. This is more of your medieval style Fool, but you gotta notice they made an effort. But once you get out of the major arcana, it's really different. Some similarities, of course, here. More of a flashy Hollywood version of this. Now, notice there's something weird about these cards. There are numbers at the bottom of these cards. This one has a 300, this one has a 1. And then, of course, you've got these symbols on the side. This is a Leo symbol. Why? I don't know. They don't really know that much about tarot, to be honest. The High Priestess. They've got a fortune teller here. And what's really interesting is that if you look at her cards really closely, they bear kind of a strange similarity to some of the actual Rider-Waite cards. Yeah. You've got Kali as the Empress. So this whole deck uses, well, monsters. these first 3 cards aside, which are a jester, a magician, and a high priestess, then you start to get into monsters. You've got Kali, a goddess, although in general, not showing her creation aspect, pretty much just that destructive aspect of her. A sphinx for the emperor, a voodoo warlock for a hierophant. Now, I'm not saying this is racist, but it's racist. 'Cause let me tell you, Voodooans, priests, they're not monsters. So to have them depicted in this way, kind of crappy. Oh, and yeah, we have some gratuity. A succubus for the lovers, and yes, she's on top. They're having the sexes. A centaur for the chariot. A Valkyrie for justice. Certainly my favorite of the deck, but kind of, I don't know. Maybe a better card for like Judgment? Maybe a better card for Judgment. Valkyries sort of come after you're judged. The Hermit, a Yeti. Made me laugh the first time I saw it. Pretty funny. Wheel of Fortune. Torture. Yeah, this is not the only deck I've seen this in, though. What's funny is they take themselves seriously. This is obviously a silly deck. A Manicore for strength. An Imp for the Hanged Man. Death as Death. I guess they just went literal there. He's definitely on like the river Styx. He's in a boat and the water. Yeah. A Sea Nymph for temperance. And a really sort of interesting demon for the devil card. Yeah. There's all kinds of sigils on this card. Not really sure who designed that one. Kind of curious. Let's be honest. The Tower. Now, I've seen gargoyles used for the star, and there's a reason for that. The star is a tooth fairy. Kind of cute. And as you notice, all of this here kind of reminds me of like a coloring book, the way it's done. Werewolf for the moon. I've actually seen that on a Halloween deck. Phoenix for the sun. Not a bad representation for that. Judgment is Cerberus. Okay, I guess. And mind you, we still have these numbers going. So Judgment is like 200. The Phoenix is like 100. The Werewolf is like 90. I don't know what these numbers mean. And the world is Uboras. So, now that we've done a quick overview of the major arcana, let's do a really fast run through of everything else. Because, let me tell you, don't want to spend that much time on this deck. Just sort of want to get it out there what they did with this. Because if anybody sees these cards and kind of wants to know what's on the other side before buying them, this would be the place to find out. Let's put the Rider Wyatt in a respectable location and get to it. So, Quetzalcoatl, Ace. You have 2 swords, Ghost. You have 3 of swords, an alien. Like most of these are monsters, but how did an alien get in here? A vampire for 4 swords, an angel for 5 swords, a harpy for 6 of swords, a cannibal for 7 of swords, 8 of swords is a Pegasus, 9 of swords is a basilisk, 10 of swords is a griffith, a page of swords is a headless horseman. Not bad, kind of cool. Barbarian for the Knight of Swords. Really, honestly, if you want this deck, what I suggest you do with this is if you want a random D&D encounter with something sort of mystical, this is a great deck for that. Queen of Swords is an Amazon. King of Swords is a Viking. Yes, they are differentiating barbarians from Vikings. At least they know that much. Ace of Wands, a salamander, which isn't so bad. They're sort of a fire element. 2 of Wands is a Cyclops. 3 of Wands is a brownie. I would have put a brownie in Pentacles. It's more of a home kind of a thing, but okay, let's do this. 4 of Wands is a fairy. 5 of Wands is a chimera. 6 of Wands is a golem. Again, another earth style thing that I probably would have put it with Pentacles long before I would have put it with Wands, which is a fire element. Mummy is a 7 of Wands. 8 of Wands is a Hydra. Kind of cool card. 9 of Wands is Pumpkinhead. We've got Pumpkinhead and Headless Horseman in the same deck. If somebody wants to explain to me in the comments the difference between the two of these, I'd like to know. Dragon for the 10 of Wands, not a bad card for that particular set. A Necromancer for Page of Wands, not where I would have gone with that. A Knight of Wands is a Hanuman, which is the first time I've ever seen something like this. So I'm going to have to look that up and see what that is. The Lilith for the Queen of Wands, and Anubis. Yeah, so they compare a Viking to Anubis. Anubis being a god of the dead in Egyptian culture, and a Viking being a Viking. Okay. Ace of Wands is a giant whale. Ace of Cups, sorry, Ace of Cups. All right. 2 of Cups is a unicorn. 3 of Cups is a witch. This reminds me very much of a Temperance card from the Halloween deck. Halloween Tarot. 4 of Cups is a ghoul. 5 of Cups is a mermaid. 6 of Cups is Jenny Greenteeth. Again, not a card or thing that I recognize off the top of my head. 7 of Cups is Nessie. Looks kind of cute. Pirate skeleton thing for the 8 of Cups. It says pirate, but it's a skeleton pirate. A 9 of Cups is a Kraken, also not a bad choice. 10 of Cups is a Leviathan, also not a bad choice. Honestly, I didn't know the difference between a Kraken and a Leviathan up until this deck, so I suppose it has taught me something. Page of Cups is a Satyr. Again, I would have gone with Wands or Pentacles for a Satyr. A Djinn. Yeah, that's 1, not how I would spell that, and 2, it's a fire elemental. And you put it in the Wands suit? Excuse me? Okay. Queen of Cups is a Gorgon. A King of Cups is an Orc. Yeah. Right. Last couple of cards. Ace of Pentacles, a Mandrake. 2 of Pentacles is an Elf. 3 of Pentacles is a Dwarf. 4 of Pentacles is something, again, I hadn't seen before. Echidna? I have to look at the pronunciation on that one. Five of Swords is a shaman. There are a lot of beasties in here, but you've got what they call a voodoo warlock and a shaman in here, which are definitely not beasties. They're most certainly people of faith in other religions other than Christianity. Arachne for the Six of Pentacles. Seven of Pentacles is a gremlin. Eight of Pentacles is a zombie. A zombie bride, no less, with like some headless dude and an axe in her head. Nine of Pentacles is Frankenstein, which we know that's not actually Frankenstein. That's Frankenstein's monster. 10 of Pentacles is a Minotaur. Not actually a bad card for that one. A Page of Pentacles is Baron Samedi. Again, using images from voodoo and entities from voodoo as random monster cards. Kind of freaking offensive. A warrior as the Knight of Pentacles. Queen is a dryad. And last but not least, the king is a leprechaun. So that is both decks because they are exactly the same, and the major arcana. So, like I said before, if you were looking for an actual tarot deck, it wouldn't be all that good for you because it doesn't have any explanations. The characters on the cards seem more than a little random. Some of them seem appropriate and some of them don't, which makes it even that much more confusing. Anywho, if you want sort of random encounter generator for a D&D style or some sort of similar RPG, or maybe just for a story that you're writing that's set in sort of fantasy medieval times, this would be a great deck to get because you just flip one and you're like, oh look, they're encountering a mandrake. That's awesome. And then the next day be like, oh look, they found a bunch of brownies. Like, maybe you could just make it food and not necessarily a house fairy. Or you could be like, oh my goodness, look, they found a leprechaun. It would be a great deck for that. Random characters. I don't suggest you use Baron Samedi. Yeah, not something that I would mess with without proper channels, but hey, what's a tarot deck with a little excitement? So there you have it, short but sweet. These are the tarot cards from Spirit, the Halloween store. Novelty only, 78 cards, 22 major arcana and 56 minor arcana for novelty purposes only. If you have any questions about this, please let me know, and you can make any sort of comments you like in the comments because, hey, this is YouTube. That's what the comments are for. The next deck that we will be doing, a more serious deck, but only slightly, the Zombie Tarot. Now, I look forward to doing this with you because the cards are pretty great. And like this deck, this would be a great deck. Well, you'll have to watch the video and find out what this deck could be used for. Good night, everybody. See you in my next video.